go. If the World Was Ending, the brand new one from Let Loose. Fantastic. Now then, this year's Britfest is just around the corner, kicking off on the 2nd of July and running until the 5th of July over there in Ashley Hall in Altrincham, Cheshire, England. And once again, it has got a fantastic lineup, including ABC, Holly Johnson, The Happy Mondays, Wet Wet Wet, Jason Donovan, Let Loose are going to be there, as is the fantastic Rick Parfitt Jr. And I'm so pleased to say that I welcome back to the Stage and Screen Show here on Wrexham City Radio from Let Loose, Lee Murray.
Hello, mate.
How are you, fella?
I'm all right, Andy. How are you?
I'm very well, thanks. Thanks for speaking to us again. I really appreciate it.
That's my pleasure.
Excellent. Last time we spoke, you were it was prior to the Britfest 25. Now it's Britfest 26. It's as the old adage goes. I think time flies when you're in show business, right?
It has flown, isn't it? I mean, 1 minute you're well. Actually, having said that, we didn't manage to make the last one because we got ill.
Oh no!
So it was crushing. I say we got ill. Our singer got ill. So 2 days out from the Britfest last year, I was literally planning my route in the car, thinking, right, I'm going to avoid the toll, because I'm in Hertfordshire, so I thought I'm going to drive here, there and everywhere, to get there. Planning everything, packed lunch, the lot, it was all in the car.
Yeah.
And, Matt phoned and said, I've lost my voice, I can't do it. And he really had, he had like laryngitis. So then it was a mad scramble to try and tell the organisers that we had to pull out. So yeah, it was really disappointing.
That's a killer, that, because the Britfest, I mean, a fantastic lineup last year and this year. We'll talk about it in a minute, but because I've always wondered what happens with a band if the singer loses their voice. Is it?
It's just panic.
Yeah.
It's just complete panic. I mean, I've pondered this in the past as a drummer. I thought I could actually break my leg. Actually, it depends which leg it is. If I broke we might end up going down a rabbit hole here. If I broke my left leg, I could still play. I'm thinking if I broke one of my arms or my wrist, I reckon I could still play one-handed. I would be there. Right, I just do it. But with singers, you kind of can't, can you? Your voice is your instrument, and I just felt so sorry for him because he was pretty devastated, as we all were. Because the lineup, like you say, similar to last year, this year is fantastic. They're all my heroes from when I was a kid. And when I was growing up in the 90s as well. It's like it's such an eclectic gathering of these amazing bands, and we just can't wait. Absolutely can't wait.
Fantastic. Do you enjoy the festivals? I mean, what do you do? Are you in and out, or do you get to hang around and watch anybody else perform, or how does it work for you?
It depends. Yeah, it depends really. There was one last year that we did. We got there super early. I don't know why, but we just, I guess there was no traffic. So I was looking at the band doing Cotton Eye Joe. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was backstage thinking, this is just the most surreal thing I've ever seen in my life. Just these people all dressed up and doing a hoedown, on the stage with straw and all other bits and pieces. So you never know what you're going to see. So sometimes we do, but quite often we're in and out because we've either got another one to go to, or we've got an incredibly long journey. But with the Britfest, I'm really hoping to sneak in, actually, because we're on the Sunday.
Yeah.
But there's just so many great acts on throughout the whole thing, and I don't really want to miss them. So I'm going to see if I can get myself in there and hide in a portaloo and then sort of just creep out and watch them.
Yeah. That must be a thing you're able to do. If you're on the bill, you should be able to get in early doors.
I hope so. Yeah, I haven't asked them yet, but yeah, maybe I should just go the legitimate route and say, please, can I come?
Yeah.
And see what they say. If they give me a part, it'd be lovely. Yeah, I do. I mean, the thing is, you don't want to miss bands like that. I mean, the Happy Mondays are on. I can't remember what day they're on, but some of these bands you just got to see, because I can't imagine any other time where I'm going to watch acts like that. Because like you say, we tend to be in and out. So yeah, I shall try.
Yeah. Well, Lee, I've got to tell you, when I told everybody in the office that you were coming on the show today, there was a lot of excitement, especially from the ladies, as you'd imagine. Kerry, who was on before me, I think she knows more about you than you know about you. But
oh, well, that's very kind of you to say. I mean, I think you're just being kind. But
honestly,
nice.
there was everybody went, "Wow, brilliant! I love Let Loose." But I wonder if you're, well, I don't know, but from what you've just said, I'm sure you're not aware of them. You must be aware of the urge and the yearning for nostalgia from the fans now.
Well, yeah, I mean, I suppose we've based our recent sort of career out of it, you know. I mean, we're sort of unashamedly doing retro shows because, you know, it's so different to what it was like in the 90s, you know. I mean, there was so obviously, as you know, there's no social media, there's no way of connecting other than getting out and going on the road and, you know, pen and paper, meeting people and, you know, doing it in sort of magazines. That's how you got across to people and playing shows and Top of the Pops. You know, now it's so fragmented with the internet. There are artists now that, because I teach drums, so some of the kids come in that I teach, they say, oh, can we play along to this artist? And I think, oh, I've never heard of them. Yeah. And then I look online and they're playing the O2, you know, or they're playing Wembley, and you think, oh, how's it? I don't know who this artist is. Yeah. Because if they were that huge back in the day in the 90s, everybody would know them. Yeah. But now they can just be huge, but they will pass some people by because you just don't see them on, you know, primetime television or even played on the radio that much. It's the strangest thing, but yeah, it's all good.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with you, and I think you've nailed it there, because I've asked a few people about that the nostalgia thing, because they have the whole 80s nights now, don't they? And they're very popular, but I've never quite understood why I, as an adult, I've never heard of people who are now headlining Glastonbury. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's a sign of our age, mate. I don't know if I'm probably older than you, because I seem to be older than everyone at the moment. But yeah, it's a sign of. But you know, another thing that's a bit of a sort of grounding in a way is that people that used to come and see us when they were kids, you know, at some of these shows, or they used to wait outside my house, you know, and we'd sign autographs, and my mum would take them out cups of tea. They're now coming to some of our shows with their grown-up children. Yeah. And that's weird in a very, very nice way, but it's kind of like, God, I'm old. Yeah, I'm really old.
Absolutely, yeah. But you're, as you say, you're the drummer in Let Loose, and I'm a drummer, but I enjoy playing the drums. I'm not going to pretend I'm Cozy Powell or anything, but it's what I.
As long as you enjoy it.
Exactly, yeah. I do enjoy it, but I find it's possibly one of the hardest instruments to master. Do you remember the first time you were drawn to the drums?
Yeah, absolutely. There was a drum kit that was owned by one of my dads. My dad was a builder, and he did an extension on someone's house, and he said, "Oh, the kid had a drum kit." I was like, "Oh, I'd love to do that," because it was more the look of them than anything, you know, that just sort of drew me to them. And he said, "Oh, I'll see if I can organise you going round." And they were very nice. They said, "Yeah, bring him round." I was only 11, 12 maybe. And I sat there. I mean, bless him, he probably thought I was going to go around there and sit on his kit for about 10 minutes and then go home. I was there for 3 hours. And I remember the parents came up at one point and said, "Do you think maybe you need to go home?" I said, "Oh, okay." And but I just loved it, and I really took to it. Weirdly, as I say, I teach kids now, and sometimes kids come in and they're just natural. You know, they've just got natural rhythm, and it takes you 5 minutes, and they can, you know, bang out common rhythm. Yeah. And I did the same sort of thing. I just sat on the kit, and I I realised I had sort of some level of coordination, and I was hooked.
Yeah. But I'm the same as you. I think I was drawn very much to the drums whenever I saw a concert or even a musical. I would always, my brain would tune into the drummer. And I was always very confused as a kid while they sat at the back as well, because I think in the 60s they were all pushed to the front, and I couldn't work out.
They were, weren't they?
Yeah, there must have been a point where that changed.
Well, maybe we just got worse looking. I don't know, through the 90s. So they thought, stick them in the back in the dark. Maybe that's what it is. I mean, you know, put loads of symbols around them and toms and things like that so we can't see them. And
yeah. But I can remember the first time I went to see Status Quo, that was my first rock show. And the drums, I just went, oh my God, the drums looked like a truck. They were massive. They're probably just a normal drum kit, but they looked huge to me anyway.
Yeah, that's what gets you. It really does. I mean, it's like it's my little domain when I'm setting it all up and so on. I've got them polishing the cymbals. I mean, it's all a bit Hanaraki. Yeah, I love it.
Yeah. Well, you're back, and it's let loose, of course, playing live, and back in the recording studio as well. We just had to listen to your one of your new singles, "If the World Was Ending." How much has the world, the music industry, changed for you?
Feels like it's ending, doesn't it, at the moment? Yeah, I think we were a little bit ahead of our time.
Yeah.
It's changed. It's changed enormously since the 90s. Is that what you mean?
Yeah, in the industry. I mean, I was going to say, I wasn't hoping you were going to.
No,
what's happening with the politics? Yeah.
No, let's not do that. Yeah, it's changed enormously. I mean, I think older people now. I mean, my parents used to do this. They used to say, "Oh, it's not like it was in my day," and you think, "Oh, shut up."
Yeah.
But I find myself saying that now. I mean, they were just simpler times, and it felt like they were sort of safer times. And it was just more straightforward. As I say, the internet, I mean, it's opened things up in an incredibly positive way, of course, but everything comes with a negative, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And, I'd sometimes lament the passing of the 90s, 80s and 90s, when things just seemed a lot more simple and straightforward, really. But maybe that's just a romantic thing that you get to a certain age, you start looking back and thinking, all things were great in my day. They probably weren't, but I'm going to stick with that.
Yeah. And there seems to be a lot more understanding, especially in show business, about mental health surrounding artists, because you can be the most well-known, popular artist in the world, but as far as people were concerned, you weren't allowed to be sad or depressed or anything, because you're on top of the pops and you're on the telly, so you must be happy, right?
Yeah, I do feel a lot for the. I mean, we used to get spectacularly offended when people said you were a boy band, because we thought, well, no, we weren't sort of put together. We didn't have anyone around us, telling us what our haircut was supposed to be like, and, choreographed or anything like that. We were sort of quite analog and organic in the way that we put ourselves together and found a record company and wrote the songs and all that sort of thing, So we thought, well, don't bag us in with that, but. In the 90s, you were either Britpop, which of course we weren't, or you were in a boy band that danced around, which we weren't. So, we found that quite tough. But I do feel for some of these lads and girls in boy bands and girl bands that we're just sort of trolleyed out on stage and we're told to do this and stand over there and smile and this is how you're supposed to behave. And I mean, I think that takes its toll. I mean, it took its toll on me just, with what I was dealing with the stressful schedules and so on. So goodness knows what it was like for some of those.
And I was listening to somebody yesterday talking, and she won The Voice a few years ago, and her prize was a record contract. And she said when she went to the record company, they didn't want to know. They basically had sort of inherited a competition winner, and she was now working as a chef in a restaurant. But but I think there is that, isn't there? People are they're pushed up as high as they can get them, and then they sort of throw them to the side if they're not interested.
Well, that's the danger, isn't it, of coming out of a TV show? And I've said this on a number of occasions over the recent years. There needs to be a sort of psychological, body of people that look after these quite often extremely young people that are sort of ferried out onto the stage. 1 minute they're working in coffee shops and then they're playing in front of 15,000 people.
Yeah.
And that does something to your brain. It really does.
Yeah.
And then to go from that, and then maybe, if you're lucky, it will carry on and you'll have a career and you'll make some money. But unfortunately, as we know, quite often the opposite is true. Yeah. You end up being binned, and then you're back in your coffee shop thinking, well, I don't know what just happened to me.
Yeah. And everybody knows
it does take its toll. Yeah, and everybody knows who you are, and you've got no money, and they come in and they say, I'll have a cappuccino, please. Oh, hang on, weren't you on the X Factor? Or whatever show it was. Yeah. And that is crushing, for young people. It really is. So it really bothers me.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more with you, Lee. Well, you are coming to the Britfest in Altrincham, hopefully. Wrap the singer up in cotton wool. And,
we'll be there.
It's at Ashley Hall. And as you said earlier, you play on the last night, the 5th of July, and that's the Sunday. Always the best day for me, that.
Is it? Okay. Yeah, good. Glad you said that.
Lovely. Lee, it's been a pleasure to speak to you again, my friend. Thanks ever so much for that. I really appreciate it.
Oh, that's all right. Likewise, mate.
Marvellous. You take care of yourself. And all the best in the future. You take care.
Thanks so much, mate. Good
Cheers.
to talk. Bye for now.
Bye-bye. So, just to reiterate then, at this year's Britfest, we've got ABC, Holly Johnson, Happy Mondays, Wet, 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 Jason Donovan, Eternal, Peter Hook's going to be there, as is Let Loose and the brilliant Farm, Stereo MCs. Wow, it's a massive lineup. Get yourself over there at the Ashley Hall in Altrincham from the 2nd to the 5th of July. For tickets, go to thebritfest.co.uk. Easy as that. Sounds fantastic, right?
Wrexham City Radio, the station.